welcome to DR Sports Game Day preview. We are here at the Emirates ahead of the North London derby this weekend.
Nice L there, 100%.
Honestly, it's so salty because no one cares about the Manchester derby. Manchester United taking on Manchester City.
What?
It's going to be a Haaland fest.
Can't
Might
wait
as well
to-
not even
Do you know
turn
what? I
up.
just can't wait to start
Don't
this.
even turn up. Let's go.
Right, so there's two derbies. Let's start with the
Important one.
We'll get to the biggest one in a little bit. We're here at the Emirates. This is where your team's going to be taking on Arsenal. I'll kick it off just to let you know you've won once out of the last 29 meetings here.
Yep.
Last time in 2010. It's an awful long time. I make that 12 years without a win here. And God
Time
knows how.
flies, doesn't it?
It does. It
Time
does.
flies.
Time does fly. How are you feeling as a Spurs fan coming here? They're top of the league by goal difference, as you like to keep reminding us.
The
But
league means nothing at this point in time.
the league means nothing.
No, it's too soon to tell. League means nothing till much later on. But the games now obviously mean something. How am I feeling? I'm actually feeling okay because I feel that neither of us are like... No, let me rephrase that. Usually in a derby...
Why are you choosing your words so carefully? Just say how you feel.
I won't get clipped. Because usually one of us is usually in form coming into this game,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, for example, us this time last year, I think we were top of the league when we came back with Nuno and then we just got absolutely battered.
You did.
And then obviously the return fixture where we beat them.
You was in form then.
We was in, no, they were in form and
Sorry,
we had
yeah,
to win.
yeah.
So for me, and I always say form goes out the window in a derby. So I'm not really sure how this is going to go. I feel like we've both strengthened. I feel like we've both improved. Yes, the football we're seeing under Conte might not be the sexy football we all want to see as Spurs fans or any fan that is neutral. Arsenal definitely play the better football. But Conte has managed to turn results from last season, some which we would have lost, i.e. Chelsea, i.e. West Ham, Southampton, for things like that, and already turned them into points. We're still unbeaten, haven't conceded too many. I'm happy with what's going on because I fully trust the manager and I fully trust the plan Conte is implementing. Am I worried about coming here on a level? Yeah, but I'm not as worried as I would have been this time last year.
Yeah, because you're a more resolute Spurs.
Yeah, we're more well drilled. We've got a stronger underbelly, I like to say. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I can't really see how this is going to go. So in my
How do you beat
head,
Arsenal? If you're Conte, you know...
Don't concede early, first and foremost.
Yeah.
We need to just try and nullify the crowd as much as possible. And I think that Conte never kind of deviates away from his game plan. He's always like, let's just...
No, he's definitely ain't going to change.
He's never going to change anything. He's very much like, let's soak it up. You see Spurs aren't particularly great in first halves of games. But it does work. So if they can hold out, defend well, know when to counter and utilise the counter well, which, you know, Spurs are one of the best teams at Europe in doing so on the counter. Hopefully now Son is also back in form. I assume we'll see Kulusevski, Son and Kane as the starting front three. I think that is just the key. I think Conte is fine with, you know, losing possession and not maintaining the ball and having that. But I think it's as soon as you get the ball, you've got to be ready to go. And I think that is what could win this game for Spurs or could even, you know, draw this game for Spurs. I think this will be very close. I don't think it's going to be one-sided. I really don't. You seem to think differently, but...
I think obviously Arsenal are super confident. Having watched them up close this season,
But when
even
you say
from
Spurs
afar.
are confident as well. They're quite evenly matched.
Yeah, they are. But I'm just giving the Arsenal because obviously you've got the Arsenal fans there. They're going to say, "What's going on here?" The Spurs fans just running right here. Who's backing us? And obviously, as a United fan, I'm not backing Arsenal, but for the purposes of this, we've got to be unbiased, and I'm going to give the Arsenal side of it, of how I think they might be feeling. I don't think they're going to fear you in terms of, you know, really worried that Spurs are coming here. Like I said about the record here. The way it's gone in the derby from the outsider looking in is that whoever's the home team seems to be winning the games at the moment.
Yeah.
I think an away win in this derby.
It's been like that for a long time now.
For quite a while, isn't it? When I look at Arsenal and how they're playing though, I think, especially because it's at Emirates, if they go a goal ahead, I don't see any way back for you.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
I think you have to get the first goal to even get something out of the game.
Don't concede an early goal.
Because their belief right now, with what Arteta's doing with them, the way that they play, the way that they move the ball. I mean, look, we beat them. It looked quite comfortable in the end, but
it was hard work.
I was very impressed with them.
Yeah.
No banter. Like I was like, they play, and I'm not going extra here. They play like a Man City side, like a Pep light. is what I was calling it.
Yeah, Pep light.
I was literally like,
But
the way they're
Arteta
moving
is
the ball.
Pep light.
Exactly. So
There
you can see where he's got his
Tactics
inspiration
and
from and stuff. Yeah. But I was really impressed with
you
that.
still beat them.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So if there is going to be joy, you're going to have to do something similar to what Manchester United did, which actually you could say that Conte's even better at doing that.
Because you play on the counter as well.
Which is kicking back.
Relax and soak up the pressure, and then hit them when you get the ball, when you got the possession. But
the only problem with doing that, especially here,
you allow them too many chances.
Because if they start, you have to ride that and come out unscathed.
Yeah, I agree.
And where I worry for Spurs a little bit is, I think if you allow Arsenal to build and there's not enough coming back, where you're not giving them enough to worry about in, say, that first half an hour or so, and it's all Arsenal, I feel like Spurs will buckle and concede in long periods like that. So if you can get the balance right of, okay, like a evenly weighted heavyweight boxing match where it's like, I take a couple, you take a couple, that's fine. But if you just sit back for long periods without anything, I think they just build too much and they break.
I think the first 20 minutes is always going to be crucial because you can see the direction in which this game is usually going in. But what I would say about Arsenal, you touched on it, they have been pretty brilliant so far. Give credit where it's due. Some signings they've brought in have been great. I expect also Zinchenko to be back, unfortunately for us. And of course, Gabriel Jesus, Saka, amongst others. So there definitely is that, threat in terms of attacking prowess up front,
and
which I think,
confidence,
which I think that Arsenal maybe hadn't had so much in previous seasons. So that is a worry. But then I also think to myself that when you're looking at the Spurs side and you've got Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Richarlison to come off the bench, you've got that little bit of extra depth.
I think Richarlison might start.
He's not dropping Kulusevski. It's not
happening.
Think? No, he can't keep dropping Kulusevski.
So what, is Son a guaranteed start and now he's scored the hat-trick?
Yeah, and he did the right thing. As I said the last time we were on the show, that Son needed to have some time out. He needed to regroup. He didn't like that. Come on, scored a hat-trick. Again, I know it was Leicester. I know Leicester I think they're still bottom of the league at the minute. And Richarlison doesn't deserve to not be in the team either, but Kulusevski doesn't deserve to not be in the team. So,
did he start last game, Kulusevski?
Kulusevski did start last game.
Because Son was on the bench,
Richarlison dropped out. But also Richarlison is good from the bench as well. It offers you something different. Comes on and he'll love the derby. He'll be bang up for the derby.
That's why I think you should start him.
But
he's a scum.
But Kulusevski changes games as well. He changes games.
Who would I start? Yeah.
So you can't.
To be fair, I think you've got two.
You're not going to take Kane out.
If any of them start, you wouldn't be. You'd go with what Conte's going to go with.
And I think that's what the good thing with Spurs is, that we've actually got depth up front. We've proven Premier League goal scorer, Richarlison, whereas we were kind of scrounging around for scraps last time with who we could take off the bench. I do think defensively, again, with Spurs, it's always you're always a little bit shaky. You're concerned there could always be one mistake. But I don't know. I just think they're going to just try and be really resolute and just ride it out and then see what happens
with the result. So say Arsenal win or Spurs win, whoever wins this game.
Yeah.
How big is it for them? Like, because you said it's kind of early and
it's very early in the season.
It's
very early in the season. This exact same weekend, I think it was last year or potentially the weekend before, we played the same game, and obviously Spurs lost 3-0. Spurs went on to finish in the Champions League spots, and
so
Arsenal
that's
didn't.
Because there's so long to go.
It's so long to go. The season is so long, and we've got a World Cup in the middle. There's going to be so many injuries, fatigue, everything. So I don't know longevity-wise what it would cause, but obviously in the here and now, the confidence will be massive. It will let you go on a great run if you beat Arsenal away or if you beat Spurs at home. It's massive for a North London derby. It's a massive repercussion for what's going on, and especially where both Spurs and Arsenal are in the table, sitting first and third. I think goal difference is separating them. This is huge because it's really staking a claim to, we are here, we're not here to mess about, and I think for Spurs haven't clicked yet. Fully. I think Harry Kane's been open about that. Conte's been open about that. I think Arsenal obviously have clicked. We're seeing it. Yeah. But I think the fact that Spurs are still grinding out results, turning things on their head if they've been 1-0 down sometimes.
That's the thing I look at Spurs. And
then they're not even at their best.
Look at loads of games, and like you said, you know it best. You've seen all the games 90 minutes, and it's like the Spurs games. And you do get that. You look at them and think, they're horrible to watch. They're just not really playing it. What was it, the game against Wolves?
Yeah.
I think, and at Fulham, and I was like, God, they're all right. Even that 6-2 Leicester game is weird.
You don't have to be nice to watch sometimes.
This is Conte though.
Yeah.
This is exactly what he is, and that actually,
I'm fine
in
with
reverse, is why people should be. I'm not going to tell everyone they should be scared of Spurs, but this is why they should be cautious, because this is exactly what Conte
However,
does.
I would say that you see it more with this kind of like, unattractive style of football when you're facing kind of smaller teams that want to put everyone behind the ball. When Spurs have faced Liverpool under, Conte or City or even Arsenal last season, you see them go for it.
Yeah.
So I think that when you're playing a team that actually plays open football and wants to pass the ball about, I think you see also a different side of Spurs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's see what happens this weekend.
What's your prediction? Go on.
I've had...
Why am I doing that? I thought I was in like an actual thing. Yeah,
Thanks.
so
I've had in my head 2 scores all week. So
she's not confident.
I've had 2-2 as kind of like that's what my gut is telling me.
Right.
I've had 2-2 in my head all week.
Right.
But then there is a niggling 3-2 that's in my head.
So
what way that's
prediction?
going to go, I don't know. I'm just going to stick with 2-2. But I put it on record, I do think there's a 3-2 Spurs in there as well.
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. I'm sorry.
Just wait, because the Manchester derby we're going to talk
That's
about
fine,
now.
yeah. And you're entitled to your opinion. I'm
Yeah.
going 3-1 Arsenal.
Oh, honestly. So,
Yes.
thanks for your banter. Let's flip the switch real
I wasn't
quick.
bad, I was just being honest.
Okay, well, you can keep your honesty.
Factually honesty, you should be saying.
Keep your honesty.
All right, cool.
Let's talk about the Manchester derby,
Yes.
shall we?
Yes, let's.
So, Manchester United, away to Manchester City.
Yeah.
I believe you said you've got a very good record against Manchester City, have you not?
In the last sort of 5 years, we've done okay, considering how much poorer we are than them. That one literally is like not like your one where you can't come here and win.
Well, we're not talking about us anymore.
I know,
We're
but I'm
not
just
talking
saying.
about- we've moved on.
No, but
We've
what
moved on.
I'm saying, it's not like other derbies where the away team can't go there and win.
Okay,
We've done that in
Okay.
recent years, yeah.
right. So,
Under Ollie, imagine that.
yeah, under
Good
Ollie.
couple of times.
Good point.
Yeah.
However, this is a different Manchester City side. This is one with Haaland. They are beyond ruthless. Again, they are joint top of the table along with Spurs and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Are you feeling more confident in the fact you're going there after your last few performances? It's 4 unbeaten, right?
Yeah. 4 wins in a row, not just 4 unbeaten. It's
All right,
4 wins in a row. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's better form than Arsenal, Spurs, and anyway. Do you know what?
This guy's so petty today.
No, look, I'm just saying the facts. But no, listen, this is an incredibly tough game. I think it's a game that if we lost, we have to keep into context of where we are. We're not defined on this. We're still early on in Eric Ten Hag's reign.
Mm-hmm.
If we win, the same applies. We're still on an upwards trajectory. We're still trying to find our feet, and we're still trying to build confidence. I think for me, I'm looking for a performance.
Like a convincing performance.
A convincing performance. Something. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If we have to sit back on the couch, if we did what we did against Arsenal, if we did what we did against Liverpool, I would see that as a convincing performance, somewhat, for where we are in our development.
Okay.
Because Ten Hag doesn't want to be playing counter-attacking football. That's not his style. But he's realised, especially against the bigger teams who have got their complete way of playing in Arsenal and Liverpool, if we use those as 2 examples, that's how we have to play against them.
Right, okay.
We're trying to play out from the back before. David De Gea is not great with his feet. We've abandoned that. We go long, play off the second balls, and get pacing behind. That's why he doesn't start people like Ronaldo, etc., etc. On that, I think team selection is going to be really key because actually he's been going with the more mobile strikers, especially in these big games. There hasn't been any Rashford since Arsenal. He's been injured for a month.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any Martial since Liverpool. So that's like a month and a half. And if neither of them are fit, it's actually a little bit of a headache for Ten Hag because when Ronaldo plays,
It changes the way you play,
it
right?
does.
Yeah.
It does have an impact on how we play, especially if we actually want to play predominantly a counter-attacking style in there. Look, Haaland, listen, there's no point even really talking about him, really, is there? I mean, at the end of the day, we know what he can do.
He's going to do.
He's going to do. He could not touch the game for 78 minutes. And then in the
just be sitting
79th, and then he can end the game with 2 goals.
Yeah.
And that won't necessarily mean that it's because all the memes will be out on Martinez if that happens. Oh, a little Oompa Loompa, he can't do anything too small.
Yeah.
It can happen. It can happen. But I look at Varane and Martinez at what they've done, and I look at Christian Eriksen, how important he's been.
I always said to you how good Christian Eriksen would be
and I was
for
in
you
agreement.
to bring in.
All through the summer, people love saying you're trying to get a player from Brentford. Oh, look.
Such a good
You know what they
player
said?
to have.
How far Man United have fallen.
No,
That's what they said. How
It's
far
just having the depth and having an option to utilise that, even if
and
sometimes you don't start.
Not even depth. He's played in every single game.
And so he should. He walks into the team.
I remember saying it. I think we was doing it on show. I said if he comes to Man United, he'll be our best midfielder.
Yeah.
I said it even then. And
Absolutely.
People tried to laugh at that. And I think now the whole footballing world has shut up about that. Like, you can't even mention Eriksen's name because you can see the impact he's having.
What about Martinez then? Because he was getting a lot of stick at the beginning.
People have to chill out on him as well.
Are you happy about that?
That he's been taking a stick?
No, that he's obviously proven people wrong slowly but surely.
Amazing. Like you said there, slowly but surely. Still a long way to go. Look. And
takes time to adjust.
Exactly, and we're living in a world of social media and stuff like that, and you've got to take the roughest move. If we lose 3-0 and Haaland scores 2 and one of them was on Martinez, everyone's going to say this is why they shouldn't have bought him, he's rubbish, and it doesn't mean that. Next game against Everton, we go and win, it's all forgotten about. So, but yeah, you had Jamie Carragher after 2 games putting up charts on Monday Night Football saying this is why this player won't be able to play in this league. Went on to, pretty much be man of the match in all the games since. So, yeah,
I just want to touch on Harry Maguire.
Yes.
Obviously earlier on this week in the England game.
That's not an agenda. You just ain't playing.
Okay, that he's not playing.
No.
But obviously we saw him in the England game again. He didn't have a particularly good game. What is the situation with Harry Maguire? What does Manchester United need to do to either get Harry Maguire back to the player you bought all those years ago, or do you prefer to maybe just see if you can offload?
In my opinion, I can't speak for the whole fan base, but in my opinion, what needs to happen with Harry Maguire is he needs to end up being phased out.
Okay.
And I think that Ten Hag, you can say it's early and things can change, but as long as Varane stays fit and Martinez stays fit, and I know there's big question marks over Varane, but by and large you can see the way Ten Hag wants to play because of who he's going with. So Harry Maguire's already not the number one sheltered player where he starts all the games, and he's still captain, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That was my next question.
He's still captain, and I think Man United fans have been saying, especially after what happened in England, strip the captaincy off him, do it now. Ten Hag isn't going to do that. I don't think he needs to. He's made his statement loud and clear that the captain's not even playing. That's even bigger diss.
That's it.
There's no need to bring more heat to it. He's not playing. It's fine. Bruno's the captain in my eyes, and we can see that. Look, Harry Maguire just needs to take some time out. I think he might be out anyway with an injury. If he's not, he's not going to play the game. But things can change quickly. If Varane picks up an injury and Lindelof's not ready, Harry Maguire's got to play. He's still a senior player, but I just think Man United fans have kind of made their mind up on him, and once you've kind of lost the fans, it's very difficult
to change him.
Very difficult.
Just quickly on Manchester City, Haaland aside, we know that City are always going to be up there. Liverpool aren't necessarily at the minute looking.
No, but they will be.
Of course, they will at some point, but at the moment they're not looking the outfit that we've seen Liverpool to be, over Klopp's 7-year reign.
Yeah.
Manchester City, is it theirs at this point for the title? Can anyone compete with them truly as the season goes on?
I don't want to be disrespectful to Arsenal because they're showing something at the moment. And like you always say with this pause with the World Cup, you just don't know.
Haaland not going to the World Cup, neither is Salah.
World Cup, so yeah, exactly. So I would still say I think Liverpool will be the actual challengers, but I think Arsenal will be a lot higher than people think by then. I got a feeling that Arsenal will just keep on. But on Manchester City, obviously this is about them. I mean, they're starting to hit their groove, innit? They usually start a little bit slowly.
Yeah.
But they can be got at. I look at the 2 draws they've had this. Is it 2 draws they've had this season? Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is. They can be got at. They're not perfect, but in terms of the title, they're nailed on favourites.
I would have to say the same. Okay, so need your prediction then, please. In the Manchester derby, who comes out on top? Be honest.
2-2.
Oh, so you're matching me.
No,
So
1-1. 1-1.
1-1.
1-1. That's wishful thinking, I know,
Okay.
but 1-1, and I think there could be a shock on the cards as well.
So
that's my heart one.
So you've got 2 as well. So
Yeah.
you're going 1-1 as your prediction. What's your other one? Share it with the group.
Nick it 1-0. Nick it 1-0. Backs against the wall, defending for our lives. Good transitions. Nick a goal.
Yeah,
But,
I'm definitely dreaming
it's tight,
on that
it's
one.
tight.
I mean, for me,
What are you saying? What?
I'll go 3-1 City.
Why are you just doing that? Because I said that.
Ha.
All right. Okay.
So let's run through the other fixtures for the weekend. So Saturday, starting at 3:00, is Bournemouth Brentford. Predictions?
Bournemouth Brentford. So it's at Bournemouth, right? I'm going to go with Brentford bouncing back. Thomas Frank won't be happy with how Arsenal dealt with them. How average they made Brentford look. They couldn't get out of gear 1. They were stuck. Really poor against Arsenal, and Arsenal were really good. But I think there'll be a reaction. So I'm going to go Brentford 2, Bournemouth 1.
Okay. Crystal Palace take on Chelsea.
Oh, it's at Palace, yeah?
It is at Crystal Palace.
Oh, that's a nice one.
This is the first Potter opening game in the Premier League, yeah.
Yes. Oh, I fancy Palace.
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Palace. I think Chelsea still got gears to go up. They're new.
Chelsea aren't bad though.
No, they're not bad. Maybe I'm just being. I just trying to go for the story. Trying to go for the story of Chelsea continuing to be rubbish. But obviously they played their Champions League game and drew. They were okay. Actually, no, Chelsea will nick it 2-1. I just wanted it to be 2-1 Palace.
I'd have bet Palace on that.
Yeah.
Fulham face Newcastle.
That's a game that. Fulham are playing really well. Newcastle are struggling a bit. They just keep drawing and the fans booed them off.
They draw a lot. Yeah. And it's at Fulham.
It's at Fulham. Do you know what? I fancy Fulham. I'm going to go 1-0 Fulham.
Okay. Liverpool face Brighton at Anfield.
Brighton, new manager. Graham Potter's gone.
This has got to be Liverpool.
Thiago's back. Now they've got all their players back. They're starting to do well. When I watched them against Ajax, they were good before the break. 3-1 Liverpool.
Southampton, Everton.
Everton do it at home, don't they? Putting in some decent results.
They're away to Southampton.
Southampton. You never know. 1-1.
Yeah, I feel like that is
1-1. If there was going to be a 1-1,
that'll be it.
Put your money on that.
Can you imagine if that's like a really high scoring game?
Probably will be now.
Like a 5-4. 100%. Let's see. And finally on Saturday, West Ham United facing Wolves at 5:30.
West Ham badly need a win as well.
They do.
They're struggling.
They're pretty hanging in down there.
They're down the bottom 3. West Ham against Wolves. Wolves are struggling as well.
That's a draw for me.
That's another draw, isn't it? Nah. Do you know what? Because there's something about West Ham that I like. I just want them to get that win and just kick on. I know you're not going to say that as a Tottenham fan, but I think West Ham are going to nick that 1-0.
And finally, on Sunday at 4:30, Leeds facing Aston Villa at Elland Road.
Tasty game, that. Apart from the big games, I'd probably pick that as one I'd like to watch.
Yeah.
Leeds got smashed last time against Brentford, which seems like ages ago.
5-2. That seems like a whole nother lifetime ago.
Because Brentford have already played since then and got smashed themselves. It's like it just feels so long ago. And Leeds need it. Jesse Marsh has done well. I like what he's done to imprint himself there, and some of the players like Tyler Adams and Aronson have done well. But they just lack that little bit of consistency, which I'm sure he'll be aware of, and I'm sure Leeds fans will be aware of. But also Leeds can be a part of exciting games, and if you flip it to Gerrard as well, he's been under a lot of pressure.
A lot.
The last win they got, which wasn't amazing against Southampton, but they got it, did a lot for him because just to relieve the pressure a little bit.
Are you disappointed by Steven Gerrard? Thinking of his time at Rangers, coming to Villa, a massive club as well. Did you expect more? But what more can you expect from Aston Villa?
No, I think you can expect more because when I look at their team, player for player and individuals for individuals, there's a lot of players in there that we're taking our teams.
Yeah, that's fair.
Douglas Luiz was inches from coming here.
Yeah.
There's rumours that he might even still come back in January.
Yeah.
And,
Coutinho,
you look at
Bailey.
Coutinho, Leon Bailey. There's, Ollie Watkins is a good striker. Even
Tyrone Mings. I think Tyrone Mings is a good option to have. He's a good option in a squad.
I'm not really on the Mings thing.
Maguire
I think
Mings? I'd take Tyrone.
Just Mings, yeah. He's a bit more mobile. Just Mings, just. That's how low the bar is. But big up Tyrone. I do like him on a personal. But yeah, I just think. So to answer your question, yes, I think you can expect more from their team because you look at their team. They could be a top 10 team.
Top 10.
Yeah, I don't see why not. At least top half comfortably. You could argue that they've got the players, if it clicks, to be a top 8
and
team.
this is his first full season as well.
Exactly. So I'm not saying he should be sacked now, but I'm saying we've got the microscopes out. You know what I mean? We've got the magnifying glasses out. We're looking.
Jesse Marsh, on the other hand,
yes.
He's got a lot of stick. American manager Ted Lasso. Everyone was saying that's what he's like.
Yeah, really unfair.
But it's unfair. He's
really
come and he's
unfair.
done a pretty good job since taking over from
I think
Marcelo
that's helped
Bielsa.
him.
The signings he's made as well. Tyler Adams, convincing Tyler Adams and Aronson to come
really
over,
good,
who he'd previously worked with. That's good.
I think he could be massive for United States football, like coming over to Europe.
Yeah.
I know he's got experience in the Abbi franchise and stuff like that, in the Red Bull franchise. But him coming over here and that stigma that's attached to Americans and American coaches and soccer and MLS and stuff like that. They get a rough deal, and I think he's actually shown, like, there's loads of little social media clips of him of how he's dealing with players, and there was a new signing they got, and the way he endeared himself to him is like, come on, it's got to be family. Where are they here?
Yeah.
And it's like that American thing. It's like that's
Cute
quite
accent.
endearing. Sorry, it's quite endearing because football's quite, you know, in this country it's very tribal, it's very British, it's very. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's adding a different element to that because we're used to foreign managers in the continent in Europe or South American stuff, but in terms of United States of America, not so much. So I think it's good. And I think he's done a good job of showing his personality and his character. He speaks really well. But most importantly, though, he needs to get results and imprint himself so he can be known for not just being a nice guy, but doing his job properly.
All right. So with all that being said, prediction for this game.
Elland Road, Villa. I never know what you're gonna get. Oh mate, 2-2.
Okay. Yeah, I can see
2-2, just end to end. A lot of quite frantic, high paced. Elland Road, 2-2.
I'm going to give it to Leeds, though. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that.
Especially at Ellen Road.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's everything we've got for this week. Of course, 2 massive games in the mix amongst with everything else. So we'll be back with you next week to dissect everything that's happened, of course, in the derbies. Who's going to come out on top? United?
We're going to be nearer to the top of the league than everyone thinks by the end of this round of results.
And of course, Spurs are going to be top of the table. So
Both deluded.
Have a great week, guys.